train was burned in the Willow Creek fire, which ravaged the area in 1999, blackening 65,000 acres. The trail traverses the San Bernardino Mountains just north of Lake Arrowhead. Near the end of the trail is Deep Creek, and along with Little Bear Creek and Hooks Creek, they flow into the northern end of Lake Arrowhead, which was a lush green valley called Little Bear Valley, which is now at the bottom of the lake. In 1851, a wagon train from Salt Lake arrived at the base of the San Bernardino Mountains, below what is now Crestline. The 500 Mormon settlers on that wagon train created the small community of San Bernardino. The lumber in the mountains was a valuable asset. Sawmills quickly spread eastward across the mountaintops toward Little Bear Valley. The growth of Southern California created significant demand for lumber. In 1867, a large lumber mill was built by Francis Talmadge in Little Bear Valley. It was in the late 1800s when a Michigan-based corporation headed by John Brookings purchased all of the holdings of the Highland Lumber Company that was operating in the area near Running Springs. The company immediately began turning the sawmill into the largest and most controversial operation in the mountains. They built a railroad to haul cut logs to the mill. Locomotives and flat cars were dragged up the new City Creek Toll Road, which is now Highway 330, all the way to the mill just below Running Springs. The company had lumber rights to over 6,000 acres of mountain timber. Between 1901 and 1911, the Brookings Company was delivering about 10,000 board feet of lumber per year. The unregulated clear-cut methods of logging used at the time completely stripped the watershed from large areas of the mountain. In one of the earliest conservation movements, San Bernardino Valley residents got involved, lobbying to save what was left of the timberland and forced replanting of areas that had been stripped. The Forest Service stepped in and increased its control and established new regulations. Frustrated, the Brookings Lumber Company dismantled its operations and moved to Oregon in 1912. San Bernardino County eventually took over the Brookings Railroad right-of-way and turned it into part of the Rim of the World Drive between Running Springs and Lake Arrowhead. The Brookings Company marked the end of large-scale lumbering in the San Bernardino Mountains. Our original plan was to follow 2N34D from 2N34 down to Devil's Hole, then take 1W01 to a series of trails leading to the Coxie Truck Trail and on to 3N17 and across the White Mountains. We started down 2N34D, passing a sign that said road closed to two-wheel drive. No problem. We ventured ahead on a fairly easy trail, assured that we would reach Coxie Truck Trail in due time. Before Devil's Hole along Deep Creek, I got the Xterra hung up on rocky ground. Dave did a little road building, and I was able to continue on following Dave's Jeep to Devil's Hole. Over the CB, Dave said, "We have a problem. The trail turns into a single track here. Plan B." We turned around and headed back to the junction of 2N34 and 2N34D. Only 3 of us were able to make the trip. Dave Gear in the 06 Rubicon, Ron Seymour, our accomplished video shooter, and me. Dave is a retired LA County fire paramedic. He just retired, and we often go wheeling together. Dave is a neighbor, a good friend, and a very skilled off-roader. He also instructs with me when we teach off-road training classes for Verizon wireless cell techs who often work at remote cell sites in the mountains and deserts. Dave is one of those guys you really want around when things go wrong. He's a bulldog, tenacious, never quitting until everyone is back on the trail. Being a paramedic is a nice touch, too. We nearly always agree on routes and the best lines through tricky spots, so spotting for each other is easy and very effective, as you will soon see. Ron Seymour is the host of Around Town with Ron on Big Bear's local Channel 6 5 days a week. His hour-long show is live every day, and he shoots 2 15 to 20-minute-long segments for every show. They cover a wide range of topics, including some off-road segments. Ron is a great guy and a close friend. He loves wheeling around the backcountry, shooting our drive-by shots and scenic views, and scrambling up and down rocks. Did I mention that he'll be 80 in a few weeks? Ron has been around Big Bear since the late 20s. He's a great guy to have around and has often been called Big Bear's heel houser. Everyone who lives in the valley knows Ron, and I swear he knows everyone as well. I'm the producer, well, sort of. I'm really a four-wheeler who makes some videos, does some training in 4x4s, and writes a bit. I just finished my 14th book, mostly motorsports related, and I produced several DVDs and a few local TV shows. After nearly 50 years of driving race cars, testing cars and tires, and instructing other racers, my wife is amazed that I can have fun at 5 miles per hour. But I do. And considering that I hold the land speed record for diesel-powered pickups at 222 miles per hour, even I'm surprised at times.